Dublin Planning Board. Today is the 24th of June, 2024. We do have two public hearings. We will begin this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Frank, why don't you lead us in the pledge?
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you want to call the roll?
Patrick Halpin. Frank Santos. Julianne Nolan. Jerry O'Neill. Dan Truchin. Ed Wynn. Juan Leon.
Present.
Greg Gaxiola. Rich Casey. Matt Esposito. That's it. Everyone, we have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Okay. Before we begin the public hearings, I'd like to read this statement into the record. The Planning Board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the Planning Board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void.
Item A on the agenda, public hearing, site plan review, job number 23-43A, AutoZone Inc. proposes to demolish all existing structures in order to construct a 6,000 square foot, one-story retail building for an AutoZone, along with associated site improvements.
Okay, who's here on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening. Garrett Gray, Weber Law Group, 290 Broad Hollow Road, Melville, New York, for the applicant.
Okay.
With me today is Eric Jeter, a member of Haydock Engineering, sitting over there, which is AutoZone's engineers. The subject property is located on the northeast corner of Route 109 and 10th Street, with a mailing address of 925 Route 109 in the hamlet of West Babylon. The parcels consist of primarily vacant land, with the exception of an existing 1,461 square foot single-family residence on the northwest corner that will be demolished. The parcels are also known as Section 129, Block 1, Lots 1 through 6 and 39 on the Suffolk County tax map. The lots together total approximately 0.83 acres and has a total frontage of 404.7 feet on Route 109. The lots are presently zoned e-business, which permits the sale of auto parts with a special permit from the BZA. We've already made application to and had a public hearing before the BZA on that special permit application, as well as a rear yard variance. The Suffolk County Planning Commission has not yet issued its determination at the hearing, so they reserve decision, and I believe they're holding it pending the outcome of this hearing tonight. The area to the northeast and northwest of the property are residential, while the area to the east, west, and south is completely commercial. Applicant plans to construct a new 6,000 square foot, one-story building for use as an AutoZone store. It's very important to note that what AutoZone is not. It is not an automobile repair facility. It is strictly a retail store for the sale of auto parts. In that regard, no one will be leaving their cars for service, no repair staff will be on site, and no environmental risk can occur from such things as the leaking of fluids or venting of exhaust fumes. Indeed, because AutoZone is environmentally conscious, it has a strict policy that no fluids purchased in the store can be used on cars in the parking lot. We have met with the entire residential community in this area, some of which are here today in the back row. Everybody is extremely in support of this application. They are happy to see AutoZone come. Again, for what it is not. It is not a food store. It is not open 24 hours. There will be no odors or dust emanating from the site. So everybody's happy.
Okay, before we go any further, the Commissioner of Planning on June 18th issued a memorandum regarding this application. Have you had the opportunity to review this carefully?
I have reviewed it carefully. AutoZone has reviewed it carefully, and AutoZone's engineers have
do
reviewed.
me a favor.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Oh, please.
Okay, thank
I
you.
thought you were just asking a
Have
question.
you had the opportunity to review all the conditions, the covenants and restrictions, with your client? And the second part of the question is, do you have any issues that you would like to bring to our attention regarding any of the conditions, restrictions, or any of the other aspects of this memorandum?
Yes to the first question, no to the second question.
Okay. Thank you for letting me finish.
Thank you.
Okay. Do any of the board members have any questions? Questions? Frank?
Speak on the actual site?
Well, yes, we'd like to see the site plan. Thank you, Frank.
Good evening. My name's Eric Jeter. I'm the
Could you
director.
please pull that microphone up a little closer to you so everybody can hear?
Happily. That way I don't have to bend over the whole
Thank you
time.
very much. Go ahead.
My name's Eric Jeter. I'm with Haydock Engineering. I'm the director of civil engineering, 2150 Smithtown Boulevard.
Hold on. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
Thank you. So as you can see, the site plan, essentially we have right in, right out off of the highway. The alignment is set at a 90-degree angle there so that we can easily get the customers in and out, as well as the delivery trucks. They run a WB67, your typical tractor trailer. We went through the trouble of providing these sweep exhibits to ensure that everybody understands that we're not going to be running over curbs. We're not going to be in a position where people are making unsafe or illegal jackknife turns. The loading area is to the north of the building there. And the way everything's been designed, it's a single maneuver. Truck straightens out into that left-west part of the parking lot and then back straight in. The trash enclosures to the north as well. We've added extra screening there. Based on conversations and the BZA hearing, we added a second row of screening to the east with the residential abutting. The building's 6,000 square feet. We have a requirement, I believe, of 30 parking stalls. We're providing 36. And in my personal and professional opinion, we're providing ample landscaping as well as screening of the building, ground-mounted HVAC units, the transformers, as well as the residential buffering.
Any of the board members have any questions, Frank? Say, Julian? Oh, Jerry, I thought you did.
Could I see the landscaping?
You speak into the microphone.
Sorry. Hello. Can I see something about the landscaping against 10th Street? I don't see, you said there's buffering or shielding of the property from the residential?
To the immediate behind the building. Yeah, that screening right there.
Oh, how about the neighbors on 10th Street?
Well, we've provided the street trees that are required there, and through our coordination with the BZA, we've allocated the landscaping accordingly.
Matt,
Fencing?
Pull up the street, the aerial so we could see exactly what Jerry's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're buffering the one resident to the east and the repair shop to the east, but not the residents along 10th Street.
I guess, what would the board like to see? Would you like to see a line of arborvitae?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that the residents would like to see a line of, the residents would like to see a line of arborvitae's.
I think
Is
that's
it, what's the fencing
reasonable.
there? What kind of fence is proposed?
A chain link security fence with vinyl slats.
Not happy.
Okay. Frank?
On the same note, what are the trees that are now aligning in the buffer zone to the houses? No, the ones that are now shown, what are they?
I'm sorry, the ones on 10th Street?
No, the ones that are in the back of the AutoZone, what are they?
Oh, they're arborvitae.
They're arborvitae's.
two rows of minimum, let's see, sorry, I'm just looking real quick. Minimum 4-foot arborvitae.
Would it be possible to put them 2 rows in the same area where you have the same buffer and maybe a single row where you have the single buffer? Where you have the single,
Along 10th Street?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any other questions, Julianne?
Matt, can you bring the, there we go. First of all, I want to commend you that you've interacted with the community and have gotten feedback. I think that's a great first step. I do not like the dumpster on that sidewalk on 10th Street where you have residents behind. If there's any other place, maybe at the point or on this other corner, that it could be relocated so it's away from the residents. I understand the whole concept of getting the truck in and circling and all of that, but I just don't like it by the residents.
Noted. So just to take one brief step back. So the history of this, we actually had a double row of landscaping along 10th Street. We were required to install, I believe, a 7-foot wide sidewalk back there where there's currently no sidewalk. There's a sidewalk across the street. And so with the addition of the sidewalk came subtraction. So we were a little bit hamstrung. But with that being said, we do have a significant enough planting strip where we could provide that row of arborvitae for screening. The dumpster location question, and if you just give me a minute, I believe we're providing the town required enclosure. The enclosure is, in fact, a concrete mason wall. So what they would see is fencing, plantings, and then the CMU wall. So anything coming in and out of there would only come to the south, away from it. If we're rotating it, now potentially, if things get blown, as if with any garbage enclosure area, it might open us up to other issues.
It's not just the site of it, it's attracting rodents.
Well, yeah.
I know you have to have rodent control and everything
But
too.
you have to also understand the garbage that we deal with is typically packaging. There's no food sales. If there is, it might be a pack of potato chips. So again, it's not food service, and that's one of the things that I believe, I can't speak for the neighbors, but understanding that you're not going to have a drive-through, you're not going to have food service, you're not going to have organics, or organic waste, which does draw those unsightly rodents and cockroaches, et cetera. This is essentially packaging materials for what gets shipped to the store. Everything they sell is retail, so it comes in, goes out. The only exception is that they do accept recycled oil to help deter the clientele who might illicitly dump something. They provide them free disposal to make sure that those illicit dumping doesn't happen.
I think it would be helpful to the question that you just heard. How will garbage trucks come in and how will they go out? Just walk us through the process.
Yeah, so basically the garbage trucks come in on the east, drive in, they swing to the west, they back up to that, and then they leave out of the actual, I would say they would leave out the east one as well.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? No? Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the audience here that would like to address the board regarding this application? Okay, hold on. Hold on. If you want to come up and say you're happy, you have to do it on the record. Okay, don't worry. Don't worry.
Hi, everybody.
Hold on. This is a public hearing, and we keep careful records as to what everybody says. So please state your name and address.
My name is Mary Gabrell, and I live right behind where AutoZone will be. And I just wanted to say
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Give us the exact address.
Okay, it's 185 2nd Avenue. So I'm directly behind the
West
AutoZone.
Babylon, New York?
Yes, sir.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
I
truth?
certainly do.
Okay, please proceed.
So I live directly, my entire backyard will be the AutoZone. I just wanted to, you said, is there anything from us? And I just wanted to say that I myself am very happy with it being an AutoZone, because it could have been a gas station, it could have been a food place. AutoZone closes at a decent hour. There won't be any partying going on. I won't have to worry about rats. Do you know what I mean? Like, you take what you get. So to me, this is the best case scenario when you live residential business area. I've lived there my whole life. It was my parents' house before mine. We have a really good neighborhood.
Did you go to
where-
West Babylon schools?
I sure did, class of '88.
So did I. Once an eagle, always an eagle.
That's right. So, that's funny. So again, I thank you all for having our best concern in mind. I really do appreciate that. And thanks for the extra arborvitaes. That was awesome, because my son, who's right there, lives on 10th Street, right there. Like, you know,
Okay.
he'll be looking at it from that aspect.
Understood.
Again, once an eagle, always an eagle. You don't leave West Babylon when you're born there. So in other words, you know, I thank you all for having our best concern
Well,
in
thank
mind.
you for coming down
And
this evening.
we're all happy. So, thank you.
We appreciate it. Again, don't forget, once an eagle, always an eagle. All right, is there anyone else that would like to address the board regarding this application? Okay. Hearing that there are no more public comments offered today. Hold on, sir.
I'm
Okay.
not saying this word.
All right. I'm requesting that we have a motion to close the hearing. Motion by Jerry. Second by Frank. All in favor? The public hearing has now been closed. The decision has been reserved in order for us to review the feedback we've received this evening and any other open site plan issues. The record will remain open for written comments. To follow up on the status of the application or to submit additional written comments, you can contact the planning department in either of the following ways. Number one, in person. The planning department is located in the west wing of the town hall. Application documents, site plans are available for inspection between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or via phone, 631-957-3103, or via email, planning comments, that's one word, planning comments @townofbabylon.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Item 2, public hearing, site plan review, change of zone, job number 24-05AE, RJP Solutions Corp. Proposes a change of zone from A residence to G industry in order to demolish existing structures and construct a 5,040 square foot, one-story industrial office warehouse building, along with associated site improvements.
Okay. Who's here on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell Blanda Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay, please proceed.
We did review the planning memo and the requested conditions and covenants, and there is one that we have a slight issue with.
Okay, please bring that to our attention.
So in the covenants and restrictions section, number 18, says there shall be no outdoor storage of any kind on the subject premises, including but not limited to materials or vehicles. Now, at this time, we're not seeking outside storage, and any application or any change to this site would have to come back to the planning board regardless, because we are seeking site plan approval. And there is a covenant that says if there is any further development, it says no further development of the site without planning board approval. So, yes.
Covenant, will be recorded, and it would be much more difficult to change it, so maybe they'd entertain it as a condition that could be addressed later.
Or, if the board was not, and I appreciate and I agree with everything you just said, Mr. Casey, if the board was not inclined to remove it, then can I suggest you keep it, but at the end of it, add a comma and say, without planning board approval. So in other words, there shall be no outside storage of blah, 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 without planning board approval, because then I wouldn't have to lift a covenant in addition to getting planning. You guys don't like lifting covenants, I know that, so.
You're good with that? I'm good with that, too.
Okay. All right.
This is why your name is on the door.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm glad it's number 1.
It should be, right? Blanda Bazell. You think it should be Blanda Bazell, Visconti?
I just think it's got a nice
Or just
ring. I got
Blanda?
a nice melody.
Yeah. All right. Anywho, all right. So I'm here tonight on behalf of RJP Solutions Corp., which is the applicant and owner of the site. We are seeking a recommendation for a change of zone in addition to site plan approval. The site has an address at 195 Route 109 in West Babylon. It's located on the north side of Route 109, kind of west of Glenda Drive. It has a half-acre lot area, about 24,511 square feet. It has 97 feet of frontage on Route 109. It's a very deep lot. It's kind of narrow in shape, so there's really not much that you can do with this site because it's not very wide. It is currently zoned Residence A. The existing structures there's a 2-story house and a detached garage. They both have a letter in lieu. They were built prior to code. They would be demolished as part of this application should this application be approved. So the applicant is seeking to rezone this property from Res A to Industry G in order to demo those structures and construct a 1-story office warehouse building. It would have a footprint of 5,040 square feet, 2 tenants. Each unit would have an office up front, and then in the rear would be the warehouse portion with overhead doors that face the rear of the site as well. The proposed building would fit the site. If you look at the site plan, you would see that it's pushed to the side, so it's not a narrow building, but it's a nice size building to fit that size site. We would be proposing all new sidewalks. There would be landscaping and street trees along Route 109, in addition to some landscape buffering along the residentially zoned properties, which, by the way, is a park and the school district. It's the junior high school and a park. There would be 1 new curb cut for ingress and egress on Route 109, so that would be a DOT approval, all new curbing, and that would lead to the 24-foot wide travel aisle that you see there that would lead you back to the rear of the site. There is a proposed loading zone that would be just to the rear where the overhead doors are. Small box trucks, no tractor trailers here. We're talking about vans and box trucks for these tenants. And then as you see, there's a handicap spot, so there would be 3 parking spaces right there. The refuse enclosure is tucked right behind there, and then the rest of the parking for the site. The site does require 17 spaces, and we're providing all 17 spaces. And again, there is landscaping in the rear along the residentially zoned property, and there's a 5-foot buffer. As far as I know right now, the only variance we need has to do with the parking in the rear not being, or being within 3 feet of the property line. I think that's the issue for one of the spots, or within 3 feet. So that's the variance that we would be seeking. When we look at the surrounding area, it is a mixed use area. You have to the north the West Babylon Junior High School and a town park. Those are both zoned Residence A. But to the west are Industry G zone properties. You have the library, you have PC Richards, you have, I think it's called Prime. It's like a food
Distributor.
Thank you.
Matthews.
I'm sorry?
Matthews.
Yes, that's it, right. A food
But it's
distributor's
Prime-
right there.
It's Prime Steak.
Prime Steak. Oh.
At least that's what on their logo.
Okay. So those properties that extend west to Old Farmingdale Road are all zoned Industry G. And then to the east, you have the funeral home. That's actually zoned Business E. And then across Route 109, you have some multi-residence complexes. Some are zoned senior citizen, and some are just non-age restricted multi-res. Route 109 is a state road. The house doesn't really belong here. Hasn't had people living there for quite some time. And warehouses are seeing a rebirth. We're seeing a lot of need for it, or at least I'm being told by clients that they have, tenants that want those types of sites. So we do feel there's a demand for it. No, we don't have any specific tenants yet because you can't really market a building that's not approved. But once, and hopefully it is, once it's rezoned and approved, the property owner doesn't think he'd have a problem renting it. So, it's been through departmental review. I know that there is still revisions that we submitted early June that are being reviewed. But if there's any, questions from the board, I'm happy to answer them. That's the rendering. I think from the front, it's not your typical warehouse-style building. I think it's a more attractive building, thanks to our wonderful architect, Chuck Lembo from Spaces. Give a little shout-out.
And you've got a nice smile, too, just like the building.
And again, the overhead doors face the rear, so you don't see that sort of, industrial-looking part. And the rest of the covenants and restrictions we're okay with. We would consent to them.
Do any of the board members have any questions? Julianne? Is the mic working? What's the problem? Try it again. No.
I hear you. There were people in the house? I was not aware of that. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah? Okay. I'll talk to the owner and find out what's going on. He's not, yeah. Okay. I'll let him know that.
Okay, well, that's not our issue. but
Right.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Okay, any other questions? No? Questions? No? Sure. Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone from the public here that would like to address the board regarding this application? No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We need a motion to close the public hearing. Let's see, motion by Julianne, second by Ed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We've closed the public hearing and we're reserving the decision. That's also part of that motion.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good
so
night.
the public hearing has now been closed. The decision has been reserved in order for us to review the feedback we've received this evening and any open site issues. The record will remain open for written comments. To follow up on the status of the application or submit additional written comments, you can contact the planning board either in the following methods. In person, planning is located in the west wing of the town hall. Applications, documents, plans are available for inspection between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or via phone, 631-957-3103, or via email planning comments, one word, at townofbabylon.com. Thank you. All right, that is our last public hearing.